Hey guys, Brett here, and today we're going to be talking about a D&D campaign that my cousin Shadling is running. His channel will be somewhere on the screen. I will be giving him a shout out because he's in the video and he is supplying me content, and that's how I roll.
I haven't shouted you out
Want
once.
to say anything?
I haven't shouted you out once.
Fix that.
I will.
Anyway,
I'll probably, if I remember correct, if I remember to, I'll add your thing at the end of this video. Um. So, today in this video, we will be talking about our D&D campaign that I'm running as the DM, and I'll have. I want Mr. Breadman here to lead with what he thinks about it first.
honestly, I think it's a really good campaign. I think you need to stop being self-conscious, whether we think it's good or not, and just run it.
It's called social anxiety and
But
self-loathing.
that's fair. But I actually do really, really, really enjoy this campaign.
And I am glad that he says that. So we start off the first campaign, the first session of this campaign.
And
Mr.
that's
Breadman
what
here actually ran as a one-shot.
yes, I was the original DM of this campaign, and I will keep that fact proudly.
Yeah, but it doesn't really. Honestly, minus the characters, nothing really in the first session really mattered much for the rest of the campaign.
Okay, way to keep my dick there, but whatever.
I'm not wrong.
Eh,
He used a one-shot module which had no
yeah.
world building, and I have built this world from the bottom up with my bare hands.
Yes, that one shot did jack shit in terms of world building. And if I center my phone with my sunglasses, it looks like I have pupils.
Yeah. All, in my defense, I have done most of the world building for this world. Pixel's backstory, Spuddington's interactions with this world, and the world itself.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way,
Spuddington is such a dumb character.
if you're watching this video, then you're probably on Mr. Redman's channel because right now he is more popular than me. Hopefully, in the future that will change, but right now, I beat in popularity by a sourdough. So, you probably know who Pixel is. You've probably seen him before. But Spuddington is my friend who I introduced to our campaign, and that's not his actual name. We're just not disclosing his name because he hasn't said if he's comfortable with his name being on the internet yet or not. So until he does, we're calling him by his D&D character, who is an isekai potato. I can say nothing more than that.
I'm so disappointed in him.
You hadn't even met him before the character.
Yes, but
I'm disappointed in him as his longtime friend. Sometimes I regret that fact. No, not really. He's a good friend.
I'm dis I'm disappointed in Cadence. Or sorry, bleep that. I'm disappointed
I
in
can't.
Pixel
You will
every
have to.
single day.
You're gonna have to do that. His name will just appear in
What?
my video. I don't know how. I can't bleep stuff in the editing software I use. At least I haven't learned how to yet.
That's fine. He said he's fine with his real name being on the internet a bit. So Pixel is a dipshit.
Yeah, that's true.
And his character is no better.
Yeah, it's actually worse.
Yeah, his character is bad.
And
Um,
so, can I real quick say something about our campaign? One of our recent sessions.
no.
Okay.
Anyway, no. Yeah.
So, Mr. Breadman here plays a rogue Harangon who's named Jack, and his father's named Harry.
Jack Sullivan.
Jack what?
Jack Sullivan.
Jack Sullivan?
He is an Italiano Randy.
Say Jack Sullivan?
Salto.
Salto. Okay. Um, but sorry about that. But he plays a rogue who's a Harangon, and his father is very evil, and yet for one of our recent sessions where
Yay,
we were
trauma.
where we were fighting his father. Well, they were fighting his father. Um, Pixel slash his character Richard was thirsting after the very evil guy.
I'm gonna fucking kill him if he actually managed to seduce my dad. I'm gonna.
Don't say it like that. It's not your actual father.
Well, Jack's father.
The way you said
If
that
he
sounded a
seduces
lot
my actual
worse.
dad, I will also kill
The way you said it sounded make it sound so much worse than it actually was.
him. Well, I would kill him even if he seduced my actual dad, so.
Yeah.
Either way, the sentence is true.
Yeah, true. I don't think he's trying to do that one though.
He better fucking not.
Yeah, I agree. So, for our second session, which was the first one I DM'd, which I became the forever DM in, which I've got to say, real mean move, Mr. Breadman here, considering we were supposed to switch off every session.
We never agreed to that. I don't
Yeah,
know
we
about
did.
Every session, but
I said, hey, every other
Did
session,
we?
you... Yes! It was your idea, actually.
I got the memory of the fucking gold.
Okay, so he made this D&D campaign, or D&D one-shot. And we played it, it was fun. And then I stayed over with him and his friend, Pixel. And you might have seen that live stream, actually. But,
yeah.
and I ran a session, and when I ran that session, it was a part of this world. And Mr. Breadman here said, hey, wouldn't it be a cool idea, not, these aren't the exact words, but wouldn't it be a cool idea if we switched to DMs every session? And I was like, yeah, that's a cool idea. And we got all the way to doing it. We had that plan, and then if I remember correctly, I got a message from him saying that he doesn't want to do it anymore. He might have said it while I was over there. I don't remember. It's one of the two. And I dealt with that, but he really should have done the DM. I was really hoping to play my character.
Sorry, I do feel bad about that when I think about it. Like, you deserve to get to play Retiff. If you want, you can just carry him over into my campaign that I'll be running after
Nah.
this. But
I don't want to. I have a character I want to play. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not gonna give that idea away though, in case we want to make a video about that campaign. I don't want to have it spoiled.
Yeah, that's fair. And
But
I will be making multiple videos about that campaign, but
yeah,
gonna make sure my camera still runs when I leave the app. Does it?
yeah,
My camera is still running.
yes.
Hell yeah.
Maybe at some
Oh,
point, if
Let's
our
go to-
sorry, what?
I was gonna say let's go to my notes, but if you have something important to say.
I was gonna say maybe for the next campaign, if our party can grow a brain cell or two, we might. I might be willing, if everyone else is, to record our session and post that.
Yeah.
It'd be
If
stupid.
everyone's willing to.
Yeah, it'd be stupid and chaotic if we do post it. Do not expect like some Critical Role or like Stinky Dragon or anything level production. You're gonna get
Yes.
you're getting
Yes.
you're getting 4 random friends thrown into a Discord call together, and one of them I think fudges their roles. Not the point.
Yeah. Gosh. See, if we do record that, I will be posting it on my second channel, shameless plug, Extra Bread, at extra_bread. Go subscribe to that for your extra Mr. Breadman content and unsuits. I can't do my promo when Shade's sitting there.
You're not big enough to have a second channel.
I don't care. I have one anyway.
In case anyone's wondering, I at some point will be making a second channel where I will go over less like video game stuff because the algorithm isn't nice to people who do multiple different types of content. But right now, I only have the one channel, Shadewing Gaming. At some point, I may make another. What?
Nothing.
At some point, I might make another channel, which will probably be called Throwing Shade.
This is what?
Throwing Shade. If it's not taken, that'll probably be my name for my second channel. Where I'll probably talk about mainly our D&D campaign.
Yeah.
If I do make that channel, you're not allowed to see it, because if I DM, I don't want you to see the, like, spoilers or whatnot if I want to talk about future plot points.
Yeah.
But,
So.
get to the notes.
Alright.
I'm messing with you.
Do you want to go over your DM notes or my player notes? Hello?
Boom, notes done. This is my 1 page of notes. I forget to keep notes, okay? I'm good at writing notes. I just keep forgetting to do it.
Oh, when I first started this campaign, my first session, hold on. There's like
1 second. I need that.
Notes.
There's what?
There's like 5 paragraphs of notes from when I first started playing.
Ah, okay. I dropped my keyboard that I'm holding upside down.
Brother.
Okay. If I can't open my notes.
You want to start off with what the one shot was?
1 second. We can, but I can't open my notes in this video because it's on a Google Doc, and I can't open that Google Doc without showing my Discord feed, and that has some people's real names on it. So my notes are locked. Unless I was to, the only thing I could do is I would stop this recording and start a new recording in the Google Doc. But then we couldn't see. Then we couldn't see each other's face. Then we couldn't see the faces. What?
Anyway, nothing. Forget I said anything. You can just say it the way you were. Anyway, so we're gonna start with my DM notes. And so I said, again, the first instance of this campaign was me running a one-shot. Well,
worst one-shot of my life.
DM notes, what was that?
I said worst one-shot of my life. I'm kidding. I'm trying to see if there's any way I can
you
get
still
to...
didn't figure whether you were kidding or not.
I'm trying to see if I can find a way to get to the notes without showing everyone's faces.
What was that?
I'm trying to see if I can get away to my notes without showing anyone's faces. Or not names, I mean.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I would like to say that this process of us doing all this while recording will be much, much, much more refined in later instances of us recording together. We're feeling it out right now and trying to get everything the way it needs to be.
Are you okay if I send 2 separate recordings and I just pause this recording and create a new one in my Google Doc? I can do our faces, I think.
Yeah, I guess that would work.
Alright. Can you send me the edited product? Because I'm not that great at editing.
Got it.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, sorry about the pause. We were going to check how long the recording was to make sure we weren't going over time. But we still have a bit longer we can do for this video. So we're going to try to go as far as we can for this, but we're going to do this a little differently. For these next few sessions, I'm going to give my story of events, and then he's going to give his story of events, and we're going to see how they line up and whatnot. So we start session 2 as me as the DM instead of Mr. Breadman. Jack is now an actual character. He got brought back. I don't want to spoil that reason yet, because I think that will be said in a later video. But Jack got brought back to life, and he entered in and he was with Cadence, or not, with Pixel, and they were in, I don't remember where they were. They were in like a bar or something in this city. This was years after, canonically, years after the end of the first one-shot. And when that happened, is they were in this like town that was dedicated to worshiping the god of rats. And they go to this metal goddess's shop, not knowing that she's the metal goddess, and she eats Richard's sword. I remember that was funny. Like an actual sword, by the way.
wait, well, before we go over there, we need to talk about the fact that I insulted a bartender,
Oh, I forgot about that.
and
He insulted a bartender's
we
mother,
got into
and they got into a staring competition, and Jack won somehow.
yes, we had this whole thing where I want to say he took something from me and I managed to steal it back. No, I paid him for the drink and I managed to steal it back.
I will say one thing about this is that I want to say real quick is that when I was doing this, I did not I was in this first session, I wasn't as good as I got in later sessions. I was a bit railroady in my mind.
I'm glad you think you improved.
Have I?
Hmm.
No,
Want me
seriously.
to be nice or honest? Yeah, you have.
Honest.
You really have.
All right, good. But in but I could be a little bit railroady in these early sessions. So if there was anything that seemed like, hey, that shouldn't have worked out the way it did, it's because I was wanting my story to play out the way I wanted it to. I hope I got better. According to Brud, I did, so that's good enough for me. They entered this temple after this. The goddess kept trying to get Jack to worship her. It never worked. He still doesn't. They
We just you keep skipping things. I mentioned the bartender, which you skipped over, and then
the metal
you
goddess.
skipped over the store.
I just
which
went
you
over that.
barely
I said
mentioned.
they went to a store, they bought some stuff, and the metal goddess owned it, and she kept trying to get Jack to worship her, and to this day he still doesn't.
Yeah, but I wrote down the pixel said "fuck you" to the shopkeep, and a
Oh, I forgot
knife
about that.
almost fell on his head.
Yeah,
The shopkeep is the god of evil. Jack, and she wants Jack, who has no god and will never, to follow her. She was
you know,
having a staring contest with Ares behind Cadence, which honestly, Shay,
Uh,
I think that is
you mean
bad.
Pixel? You said his real name.
Hmm?
You said his real name.
Oh. Okay.
But one thing I do want to say is that while he says Jack will never have a god, technically Jack is the god. It's plot. It's a plot. It's a spoiler, but you know.
I didn't know.
They enter a temple.
Jack,
Sorry, what?
I would also like to say that I have improved as well. In the very beginning, Jack is very, like, stone-faced and emotionless. In later sessions, he definitely gets emotion.
Yes,
In
yeah, I agree.
the most recent one,
He's an a-hole.
especially, he gets emotion.
He's an a-hole. No offense to you. You're a great. You're a great like role player. But he was such
No,
an
I
a-hole in the
agree,
early
Jack
sessions.
absolutely is.
He's not in the later sessions as badly, but in the early sessions he was terrible. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but like he really was just absolutely despicable.
No, I completely agree. Jack
But-
was a dick in the early sessions.
They enter a temple to the god of rats, and they fight some zombies in there. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Pixel vaporizes one of them.
Yes, I said Skeleton 2 got dusted, Thanos style. And another one, I said in the initiative that Jack got 22 and went first above Richard's dirty 20. Get F, Pixel.
I think this way we can do it a lot. Actually, I have a better way we can do this. We'll go between us saying the notes. I'll say something, you say something. You know, that helps. I think that gets it out faster and also gets better. You know, having both versions of events. Everything I missed, everything you missed, and whatnot.
I also forgot, I got flipped off by a rat.
That happened later, I thought.
I just kind of skipped over the battle and everything.
They
I'm
went.
trying to move this along.
Yeah. They went to a crossroads, and Pixel entered the kitchen for some reason. I don't know what I did to get him out of the kitchen, but he entered the kitchen for some ungodly reason.
Did he?
Yeah, I gave you a crossroads, and one of them entered a kitchen, and he walked in there for no apparent reason. I even said, it looks like you should head this way, and he's like, I want to go the other way.
God, Pixel is stupid.
You see my issues as the DM here, right? We have the one good role player, the joke character, and Pixel. He needs no
Who is
introduction.
neither?
No, he's just the idiot. Hey, real quick, you want to say what our D&D group is for on Discord?
Oh, I just called it the DnD dipshits.
Oh, actually, it pops at the top of my screen. Never mind. But yeah, it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that came from a joke that happened earlier today, but not the point. But as they continued through the area, I think they fought some zombies and some more like enemies throughout the way. There wasn't a lot of role playing in this session. I was new to DMing, and I didn't have a lot of like role play opportunities. I do regret that.
Yeah, I feel like we can kind of blaze through this one because there really isn't a lot of
Yeah, I,
like stuff
I,
like that.
I feel kind of terrible about
We
it.
fought a witch necromancer thing that he was tweaking with everything, and Jack got a shit ton of gold in this session, though.
I do want to say that during the early sessions of me DMing, I seemed to have like a main character complex I needed to get over. I did, in my mind, but like, I definitely had that issue when I first started.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but like, I sure noticed looking back.
No, not really. I'm not
I
sure
think
if this is still session one. I think.
no, this is session 2. We're in session 2 now.
Was session one?
Session
I
1
think
was just the
session
one.
one ended right after we fought the lich.
No, session 1 ended right after we fought the Jack the first time. Session 2, which is the session we're on right now, it technically ended right before we fought the lich because you wanted to go to sleep, and then after that, it ended right after we fought the plant boss, which had reverse AC, and then after that we fought.
What was that again? I always forget why it had reverse AC attacks.
It used vines to attack, and when you have more armor, it's harder to dodge out of the way. So the less armor, the weak, like the lower AC you are, the more likely you are to be able to move out of the way of the vines wrapping around you and crushing you. And then in the second part of session 2 was when we woke up, a few hours after we woke up, and this one I like this way more than our original session 2. After getting like that sleep, I think I did much better as a DM.
Yeah.
They fought the lich, and they won because of divine intervention, which is not me being rude, it's a fact.
Yeah.
They beat it. Alright, the whole point was that Retiff was going to fall from godhood because he was the god of rats, in case you guys haven't picked up on that yet. And he fell from grace by sacrificing everything to revive Jack and Richard. By the way, I want to complain again about Richard. I had to make up a homebrew rule to kill Richard. You remember that?
Barely. What was it again?
I had to melt the ceiling. I had the lich shoot a firebolt at the ceiling to drop lava on Richard. What?
I'm gonna turn off my camera for a second because I need to go do something. Give me a sec.
Okay. Are you still gonna be here, or?
Yes, I will still be talking.
Okay, that's fine. I'm turning off my camera too because I don't like being on camera that much.
Yeah, that's fair.
In this session, we did a lot of they did a lot of shopping during the session afterwards. I'll actually, if you want to,
profile pictures.
Shut up. If you want to, Brad, you want to like lead off where we left, where this session went for the most part.
Oh, what with the like going? Yeah, I can.
Yeah, the shopping. I didn't remember a lot of the shopping. Sorry.
Yeah. Hold on. Give me a sec. My grandpa's asleep. Let's see, what was I gonna say? Where is it?
We're talking about shopping.
I My notes have restarted, so I lost where I was. Hold on. Oh.
I'll go back from where we left off real quick to everyone. So they beat the Lich, and they headed to this nearby town, which is really important later on in our campaign. I don't know if it was that important at this point though, so I won't reveal too much about it. And during this, they went shopping. They went to Bass Pro for Thieves, but I think that was at the end of the session.
No, I think that was
no,
the beginning.
No, at the end. I remember now. So very beginning of the session, we have, or the very beginning after they beat the Lich, they go to this town. It's not really a Lich. I don't want to call it that. But that's what I'm calling it because I can't, they enter this building, or they enter the city, and they go shopping. I don't remember where Richard went. I do remember Jack went to the Thieves Guild. What?
I don't remember where Richard went either. I don't keep track of that imbecile.
Yeah, fair. But Jack went to the Thieves Guild area, and he noticed it was very run down and whatnot. And he bought a few weapons by. This was so funny. He persuaded the shopkeeper into believing that the shopkeeper's weapons were less magical than Jack's very unmagical rapier.
Yes. And out of that, I got a radiant rapier.
And a bow of thunder.
Yes.
Which, something really funny happens with that bow of thunder later on during this same session. So, they left the area, or they left the Thieves Guild, they do a bunch of things, I don't remember what it is, and then Richard entered the Thieves Guild, and despite being, like, in guard armor and, like, holy armor and whatnot, they let him right in, which surprises the party and whatnot. And that's for a plot reason that is actually revealed in this session. But Jack tries to buy some poison, and the guy he's trying to buy it from knew Richard, and he's really mad at Richard.
Which Richard has no idea why. Because Richard's perfect. It's Richard.
Richard lost all of his memories from the meddling of the God of Memories.
Yes.
But that does not excuse his actions. So they, so that happened. They stole a ring or bought a ring or something. I don't remember what happened with the ring. They got a ring somehow and brought it back to this guy. And then after this happened, they went to this guard tower, and Richard found this axe that called to him. So Jack stole it for him, and the axe tried to kill Jack.
Yes, I remember that.
Then they went to this inn that was. What?
The thing is, I don't think Pixel uses that axe anymore.
He has a few times.
Does he?
Yeah, it's the ice one.
Oh, right. The Leviathan axe.
I stole it from Skyrim.
I figured you stole it from God of War.
I stole it from Skyrim because it's the first magical item you get in Skyrim if you play the story, like story-wise, it's a guaranteed drop from the first like mini boss you fight, and you fight him during the main quest line really early on. And getting this axe, it is a two-handed large axe that has ice magic, or has ice to it. So I stole that, and then I made it attuned to Richard, and made it a little stronger than, whatnot. And then they went to an inn. What?
I was going to say, I was reading the fact that I became an assassin. And I had not ice magic. Sorry, I got sidetracked with what you were saying. I have advantage on enemies that have not had a turn in combat yet.
Yeah.
And I haven't been using that. And get automatic crits against the prize creatures. Which I also have not been using.
You don't run into a lot of surprise creatures because every time you get the chance to surprise, you just sneak by them.
Yeah.
Um, so they went to this inn with this really racist shopkeeper. Um,
Especially towards Haringons for some reason, and he tried to scam us out of all of our money.
Not all of it. Jack
Most of it.
Jack is exceptionally rich. Um,
Yes, I have 5,000 gold.
I thought it was more than that, but yeah.
Damn near. Because I got given another 1,000 this session.
So they they go to sleep, and this weird dark fog whatnot starts taking people off the street and killing them.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's not in
really
Brett's
bad.
notes.
Did
It's-
I actually not put that in?
Yeah, you did it. It was funny. Um, so they they let a vampire in through the window. I think it was Richard, the idiot, who did it.
I thought it was me.
No, it was Jack. Richard told them to just leave him alone because he was trying to sleep.
Yeah. And then she went in and killed the innkeeper.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever said it, but she's an elf. Well, was an elf.
Yeah, that vampire was supposed to be a very important plot point, but dumbass over there can't remember anything for it.
Okay, you tell me you can remember every single plot point you come up with over multiple sessions without keeping any notes.
Well, it's still your fault because you should be able to keep notes.
I wasn't keeping notes at that point because at that point I thought we were gonna switch off, and I could just you would be the DM and whatnot, and I would just go off that, and you could have done something else with the vampire. So I don't want to keep notes and be like, oh well, you could decide something else and decide no, I don't want this to happen. And I'm like, okay, why keep notes of something that might not stay the same? You know,
still make the vampire cool.
I might bring her back, maybe. I might bring her back, maybe. Then
an old friend of mine. Sorry.
He means an old friend of Jack's, by the way, not an old friend of Brett. Brett doesn't have any real friends. Continue.
They're not allowed to know that. Sinan, an old friend of Jack's, hired me and Richard, Jack and Richard, for a job. Jack looked around the room or I don't know when that happened, but oh right, he met us at the door. In the morning, when they woke up, Jack looked around the room and found a pamphlet, that's probably not spelled right now that I'm looking at it, about the elven god of memory, Eromia.
The elven god, not elder god.
I did say elven, you deaf.
You said elder!
I said elven.
I can replay this video back.
I guarantee you I said elven.
Regardless, Euromia, which I could not remember the name of, thank you, Bread, is the elven god of memory. They haven't learned a lot. Bread knows a lot because he's the wall I throw my thoughts against. But
yes, to see what sticks.
Yeah, but you guys, Spuddington, which has not been introduced yet, and Richard don't know much yet. Speaking of Spuddington, he does not come around until the fourth session. He was supposed to be a member of the third session, but we could not make that time, so we didn't introduce him until the fourth.
It was so nice not knowing he was a dumbass.
You act like he's not the one you get along best with in our group.
Yeah, honestly, me and him do get along really well, which is nice.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Birds of the same tism.
They say great minds think alike, but they also say fools very rarely differ. Y'all are the fools. Continue where we left off, though.
So, let's see. I walked past an orc assassin and he tells me there have been a few murders that disobey the assassin code. I find Richard drowning in ales. Oh, downing ales. Same thing. And I try to leave. I cannot deal with that motherfucker sober. I can't read that line without laughing.
Me neither.
Somebody grabs my arm and challenges me to a stealth competition, which, having a +3 in dexterity and a proficiency in stealth, I had an automatic +5 to. I pickpocketed the most people and made, 2,160 pieces of gold. I pay a fare of 50 gold. Hold on. Actually, I'm gonna switch these out real quick. Hold on.
What are you switching out?
My earbuds.
Well, while he's doing that, we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about some plot points that happened before this that he kind of skipped over. Well, did he even skip over a plot point?
Can you hear me?
Never mind. Yeah. Never mind. I was gonna say something, but I forgot to. Yeah, I can hear you. I forgot what I was gonna say. But Jack won the stealth competition, made a bunch of money, and then I don't know where his sentence was about to lead. You paid 50 gold for something?
So I made a whole bunch of money. I pay a fare of 50 gold for fast cartage, is what it's supposed to say, like a cart across the city.
What does it say?
And it auto-corrected to cartridge.
Boom, boom, boom!
So
bang, bang, bang!
So fucking useless sometimes.
Speaking of this, during the time... Wait, during the time, a little after these notes were written, Breadman texted me, and he complained about autocorrect, and then proceeded to spell like half his sentence wrong where he was complaining about autocorrect.
Suffering from success. Anyway, so, the job that Sinan gave me was to assassinate the man orchestrating other assassinations.
No, Sinan didn't know that.
Against the assassin code.
Sinan didn't know that.
What?
Sinan didn't know that.
Oh, right.
He had you assassinate the leader of the Fighters Guild.
What was the job that Sinan hired us for?
The leader of the Fighters Guild. It was to kill him. He just didn't know that's what he did. He wanted him to die because he had personal grudges.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I decide to kill the man with my bow. My thunder bow.
Yeah, so in case y'all are wondering, I want to explain what this sounds like. Imagine you're in a cave, and there's a lot of stalagmites around and whatnot. And then, booming through all these halls, you hear a loud boom! As the sound of thunder shakes the tower.
I try to hide on the roof, but to no avail. I get caught and sent to jail, even with a nat 20.
I still can't. No, you got a dirty 20. I still can't believe I rolled a 20 on that.
And then Richard's dumbass tried to bail me out.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
And then I escaped the guards by calling them over and running out when they opened the door, locking it behind me. Richard got a 1 and phased out of reality.
Sing us.
And saw the player characters.
No, not the player characters. She saw the players.
Yeah, why did I write player characters?
Because you're an idiot. Moving on from that, I want to say that is where we ended this session. No, it ended right after this. Y'all got paid by Sinan. I would like to talk about this part. Jack gave Richard his small bit of money, and then Jack went to Bass Pro for Thieves, and got a wand that was attuned to him that lets him cast spells, which will never be useful because he decided he didn't want to run a spellcaster, and also work as a dagger.
Which we're kind of running a homebrew road that's getting a whole bunch of shit to cast spells anyway.
I didn't give you anything to cast spells. I gave you an extra attack.
Maybe out of spells, but I'm not out of shells. Bitch.
After this, the session ended there, and they went to, and then there's this old man who came running and screaming about skeletons walking free, and they go investigate it, and being the idiot he is, Bread decides, I'm going to attack this skeleton who's leaving us all alone. So, they find these skeletons roaming these foggy streets, and the skeletons are leaving everyone alone. And Bread...
Also mentioned that Pixel Mike is fucking dog shit.
What? Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I also would like to mention that Pixel Mike is fucking dog shit.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, you were telling her.
So Jack was being an idiot and attacked a skeleton who was just trying to live its life. And now, this was not a thing I think it was ever mentioned, but that city just has skeletons walking in it.
Brother.
The city has skeletons walking because the mages of the area bring the dead back to life, so the dead will always be with their loved ones until a whole family dies out, in which case the skeletons fall.
I hate you. Like, with a passion.
So Jack killed a family, and some guards attacked. What?
They deserved it.
They did nothing. They were minding their business. So, some guards come, and they destroy. Oh, I forgot something that happened before this. So sorry. Before this session, skipping back early in the session, before all this happened, because I forgot about it until just now. They woke up with none of their weapons on this island, and they explored this cave. And Jack heard the line, no person wants to hear from their DM, do you touch it? But he does touch it.
Hey.
And he grabs a torch.
You don't want to hear this from either.
What?
I said you don't want to hear that from your girlfriend either.
Shut up. As a forever single person, I'll never have to worry about that. But the torch, he grabs the torch, he gets attacked by bats, so he drops the torch, extinguishing it, revealing a troll, who's very angry.
Not happy about the dumbass with it.
So the troll kills both of them, and they wake up in a simulation, and because they lost so extraordinarily badly, they had to pay 10 gold.
Yes.
And skipping back ahead.
Imagine it's fucking so bad you have to pay someone.
Yeah, their training is normally free, but y'all did so badly against the thing. They're like, not free anymore.
Pay us. Yeah.
So going back to the skeletons thing, Jack gets destroyed by the guards, and then Richard is taken alive because he has a wand that lets him cast Revivify. We'll go to Jack's thing, and I'll let Mr. Redman talk about what Jack was seeing.
That's a good question. I closed my notes.
Okay.
Hold on.
This was with Simmons Grandma.
Oh, right. She gave me full health again, which was only 16 at the time. Now it's 20.
No, it's 30, isn't it?
I just realized I was playing that entire session back there a level lower than I should have been.
I asked if you did it, and you said you did.
I said I had not yet.
You said, give me a second, and then you came back after a minute and you said you did.
I was lying, which I don't remember saying that. Anyway.
In my defense, I said I was going to use that beginning of that session to help him level up.
Yes. And I would like to say...
Actually, I did help you level up.
A little lower than
I don't think you did your health, sorry, but like I leveled you up. You got your uncanny dodge.
You told me what I got. Never got to write it.
You got uncanny dodge, and you got an extra attack. No, you don't normally.
I left for a second so I could either look something up or take a bite of my sandwich. Anyway.
But normally you don't get an extra attack at that level, or actually at all for a rogue. But I thought rogues are kind of terrible, so I gave it to him.
Anyway, so I am in Sin's grandmother's house, and she brought me back up to full, and she tells me his baby stories, and I hold them for blackmail. And
by the way,
she was so nice, after Jack leaves, he flips her a gold coin.
By the way, Sinan's grandmother is a half-orc, while Sinan is a tiefling, and this is possible by Sinan's grandmother's parents being a tiefling and an orc, and then her marrying a tiefling, and then whatnot. Everyone's tieflings in that family except like her father's side of the family.
Anyway, I end up going to the underworld, and I have to pay 100 gold to cross the river Styx.
Oh, this line's so
This hooded figure takes it.
Charon.
Yes. The hooded figure takes it, but it falls out of his cloak, and I just grab it.
Charon takes it.
At me? Huh?
Charon, or Charon, or whatever. That's the name of the figure who took it.
Yes, and it fell out of his cloak, and I stole it back. And then I make my way to the boat, and we set sail to the land of the dead. When we are there... God, I hate this part. Would you like to explain what a dick you are, Shade?
I stole this from the Odyssey. So, everyone knows Jack's family is all dead. All of his race, pretty much, is dead. So, I stole a line from the Odyssey and made it even more tragic. So, Jack arrives, and he arrives in the fields of Asphodel. And if you don't know something about the fields of Asphodel, it's where everyone who did not do anything super good or super bad ends up. So a lot of people end up there. And the people who happen to be there were a lot of Haringons. And there is Jack's mother screaming and crying, looking for him, never being able to find him, and she can't see him trying to embrace her because he's not dead yet and does not appear to the shades. And so, Mr. Breadman said he left to eat dinner, but I'm pretty sure he left to cry.
Yeah, you did this, and I was like, I am on the verge of fucking crying, you asshole.
And then he said he left to eat dinner. I'm like 90% sure he left to cry.
No, I actually left to eat dinner. I don't get emotional very easy.
Well, I made you that time.
Anyway, moving on.
And I made you when Jack killed the little child.
Still pissed off with you for that one.
Okay.
That was a bullshit plot point, and you know it.
What was?
Me killing a child in our most recent session.
What about it?
Fuck you for that one. It led to a good thing. Like, I enjoyed that part of the session, but
It needed to happen for plot relevance.
I imagine that all of this also still happened at like 10:30 in the morning.
No, my mind is it happened at like noon.
Happened at what?
My mind is it happened at like noon or 1 o'clock. Like, so my mind is that you left at like 8. You cleared through that cave,
Yeah.
and then like it was like 10:30, and then you started forging the weapons, and then once you forged those, by the time you were done, it was like noon, like 1 o'clock.
Alright, we should finish talking about this session
Okay,
and stop the recording, though.
this is about to be where we end it. But they entered the underworld, and I'll let Mr. Breadman continue if he wants.
Got it.
Skip the Jack Miller
Sure
part. We
we
already
do a lot
explained
of
it.
talking for this, also going up on your channel.
I can
So,
talk
we
more
get
if
in
you
the
want.
boat and set sail.
If you want to talk more, I just figured you wanted one to talk.
I'm not sure. I guess the me hearing with my dead mother was the last session, so we'll finish up this next one.
No, the underworld session
I
happened.
accidentally shot.
Yeah, those were split up into two. Sorry. Um, all
Okay, that's fine. There's not a lot of notes here.
I'm gonna do this one off memory because I loved this session. It's my favorite one of our whole thing. So they reach the fields of punishment, and at the ends of the fields of punishment, the thing is there's this area in this world, not in actual Greek mythology, but in this world, you reach the end of the fields of punishment, and there is an area where the tortured souls aren't actually tortured. They're tortured by the thought they're going to be. They always believe they're about to be tortured because they're in the fields of punishment, but it never quite happens because that's not what happens here. And they built this little bar, and Clayton can talk, or not Clayton, but Mr. Breadman can talk about what happens when he enters the bar.
So I enter the bar, and for some reason I shoot Jeremy.
I remember
There's
this.
no reason for me to do it. I fucking felt like it.
You shot at someone and you hit Jeremy. You shot at someone or something. You
Right.
rolled bad and you hit Jeremy.
I think I shot a potato.
Yeah.
So Buddington, the reason called that is because he is just a sentient potato.
Who was isekai from a regular guy in Japan who got stabbed to death.
Yes. Yeah. So, I shot Jeremy. I adopt Spuddington, I have his real name in parentheses, to replace Richard, because Richard is a piece of shit.
And dead.
I pocket 5 gold pieces from a fallen skeleton.
Real quick.
And
Can I add a plot point real quick that I never explained to you guys?
yes,
The reason why Spuddington and Richard can see you, but your mother could not, is because the longer you spent in the underworld, the more your character was resembling that of a shade or a dead person. The longer you spent, the more
if I
dead.
would have went back,
Huh?
if I would have went back, she would have.
She would have seen you, and she would have cried so hard.
You fuck. Anyway,
I'm evil.
so we get to this place, and there is a giant statue of Richard, and I end up getting an inspiration dice for going, I will bitch slap Ares if Richard is considered a hero.
I remember that. That was
And
great.
I would have. I absolutely would have. And then I asked if anybody wanted to tic-tac over Discord. Shade said, shut up.
And I left to get a
Spuddington said,
Gatorade.
absolutely. And then Spuddington gave me a Gatorade.
And I left to get a Gatorade.
Oh. And then he also gave me one over Discord. Anyway, Richard is drunk and looks at us and goes, how's that potato walking? And I just go, what potato?
That leads into my favorite part of this whole campaign, where Richard is convinced that Spuddington does not exist and is his sleep paralysis demon.
Yes. And Retief appears, we fight him, and he's like, I will avenge the rat. And Jack's just like, what the fuck is Issa Hobo talking about?
Yep, that happens. And
Oh,
what?
I just read Retief casted Dissonant Whisper as Retief casted Disappointment.
Jack would fall for that. He is a disappointment. Sinan runs up to Jack at the end of this session, bloodied up, and that is where we end that session. Real quick though, to give some people clarity, Sinan does not die here.
I would also like to say that Paddington can conjure a middle finger, not by magic, by pure freaking will.
Yes, and before we sign out, um, uh, I would like to do my outro.
Okay,
This is
come
Shadewind
on,
Gaming.
little guy, you can do it.
What?
I said, come on, little guy, you can do it.
Okay, before I say my outro, I want to say that if you follow Mr. Breadman, I would recommend unfollowing. It is a very free thing to do, and it's a very smart thing to do. Now, as I was saying, um,
Bitch, you do not come at me with your 2 subscriber having ass.
there's more than two. There's four.
Oh,
This is Shadewing signing off, and have a wonderful day. Well, you won't even notice that cut, but we cut to change the thing so you could see my notes. We'll have. I would like to have Mr. Breadman say his notes though first, because his notes are a lot better than mine. Mine are mainly just stat blocks.
I need to check again and see if my camera is still on. Is it still on?
Yes.
Can you see this?
Yes, I can see that, and don't flip off my
Perfect.
audience. I'm nice to them.
I'm flipping off you as well as your audience because they are not subscribed to me.
They probably are too.
So,
My only audience is my old channels at this moment.
for my notes, I said that the first encounter I had them up against, because it was in the one shot, was also I would like to shout out this one shot because it was a very good one shot, and it's called A Most Potent Brew, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I could pull up the
Look at
messages.
D&D one shots, and it's like it's number 10 or something. Anyway,
Can I say something real quick?
there's a list that's like 1 through 10, and it's somewhere on there. Anyway, sorry, what?
Mind if I say add something to that?
Sure.
It's a pretty good one shot in my mind. I liked it. It's the first time I've played D&D in 10 years, so it was a pretty good welcome back.
Yeah. So I said that, and this was a one shot to the extent that it had like music that it had set up for the entire little campaign. Like it had all this different encounter music and battle music and fantasy music that I had Shade playing because I was using my phone for other things.
Hey, I have a question for you real quick. Sorry, unrelated to our current campaign. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but I just thought of it. I think it's a really cool idea. So this is a bit of a spoiler for my character in our next campaign, but it's not enough that people will be able to figure out what it is. For the Warforged I'm playing, you think we could flavor it with like a homebrew where it gets a Dragonborn's breath weapon?
I could work with that, yeah.
I was thinking electricity.
See, we'll have to talk about this later. We can talk about it after the recording.
My mind
Anyway,
though is that I could trade health to use like however many health points to use a lightning breath weapon.
Maybe. Anyway, so for my DM notes, the first encounter that this thing puts you up against is 5 rats. And what happened was Jade tamed one of them, and he tried like 5 different freaking times.
Wait. Here's the stat block for everyone who's watching. The new stat block that I made.
Yes.
I made-
Pixel. Well, Pixel killed the other 4.
Hey, I killed 2! It's the reason it took me so many animal taming tips, because I scared it.
And then it says that the new initiative order for some other encounter that they have was, giant centipedes. There was Pixel, the centipedes, and then Shade, because apparently he rolled low.
And I tried to
And
tame
this
him.
entire time through, yes, you did try and tame the centipedes and the level of dumb. The entire reason they're down here in this basement area is because this bar person hired them to go in the basement and search
You're talking about us, not the
for
centipedes, right?
something or other, clean it up. What was that say?
You're talking about us, not the centipedes, right?
What do you mean?
For the thing that went down here, the reason we're down here.
Yes, of course I'm talking about you.
Okay.
Centipedes weren't hired by them all.
But also, I remember the reason. The reason we were down there was because the guy, I don't remember his name, wanted to expand his bar, and it was built on the ruins of an old wizard's tower. But he couldn't expand it because as he tried to go downwards into get more cellar room, his group was attacked by large rats, and they were, or what are they called, giant rats? And they killed a few of the members or sent up running or whatever. And so he sent us, hired adventurers, down there.
Yeah. So that happened, and then they managed to kill the centipedes. And the entire time that they're down in this basement, I'm like, roll for perception, roll for perception, roll for perception. And finally, they get a 21 and a 16 to notice a black figure in the rafters of the basement.
I have an excuse.
Well, Shade was nice.
I have an excuse. I have a -2 in my wisdom. Oh, I had. My character doesn't anymore, but yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, Shade was nice enough to throw a plate at the figure, and they heard, sheet, and they saw a dark mass fall to the ground.
Oh, real quick. Every time he says that, I hear mask, not mass.
Okay, well, they saw a giant black mass fall to the ground. Anyway, so this mass ends up being the character Jack, who is my personal character that I made.
He's an idiot.
I worked on him for like 3 months.
He's an idiot.
And I love him because his lore. Jack is the smartest out of our entire group.
We're Tiff.
I worked on his lore for like 3 months. I got everything worked together properly. I did all the stuff. Anyway.
Oh, I beg to differ.
There's a little counter there.
Where Tiff is smarter than Jack.
Okay.
Jack is not the smartest member.
Not true, but I'll let you think that. Jack's the most logical. He's not getting drunk at 10 in the morning.
Okay, canonically, the reason that happened was that he stayed up the whole night, drank a bunch of coffee, and he was bouncing off the walls and drank alcohol in accident instead of his coffee.
But the new initiative order, because they encountered a giant magma spider, is Shade's rat, Pixel, Shade, the spider, and my character Jack.
The worst.
The spider attacks Jack. 1d4, and then there was some attack that I said 1d4, 1 is Shade,
Lava
2 is
webs.
Pixel, 3 is Jack, and 4 is the rat. And then Pixel got hit by the spider for 4 damage. She's now at 21 health.
It was lava webs.
Yes. And I said.
Real quick, sorry. I personally have a vendetta against Session 1 Jack. Later Jack's fine. Session 1 Jack, I hate him, and you'll find out later in a minute.
Yes.
Ow!
So I said that I was going to homebrew something, but that's gonna ruin anything that I say in the next
How?
10 minutes. So I'm.
No, tell it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it.
Jack, the NPC. I don't know why I wrote that in parentheses. My dumbass should know he's an NPC. Dealt 6 damage with an arrow. The spider is now at 15. Zane's rat hit it for 3 damage.
Go rat!
It's now at 12. Huh?
Go rat. Rats are cooler than rabbits.
Hit it for... Shut up. Shade hit it for 5 damage, it was now at 7. Jack hit it for 6, it was now at 1, and the rat killed the spider.
By the way, my character's name is Retiff, in case anyone wanted to know why I was yelling that Jack isn't the smartest member of our party. I was yelling my character's smarter, considering he literally has the intelligence of God on his side.
Because he was a god at one point.
No, I'm saying I can just tell him anything. Anything I want him to know, he knows. I'm the DM. I know everything about this world. Not about what you guys are going to do. That always surprises me.
Yeah. Anyway, so the twist ending was that they get into this room and there's this wand object. When Jack grabs it, that's not Jack. I imagine that he got, like, possessed by the evil wizard.
Originally, can I say this? Since I was the one who gave this idea. This part of it, at least.
What was that, sorry?
Can I say about this part, because I gave this part of the idea?
Sure.
So, originally, the part that Brad came up with was that Jack was originally the wizard, and was the original wizard, and when he grabbed it, it turned him in, he gained his power, and he wanted to kill us to, whatever. Now, that was the original story, but as we progressed through this campaign, Breadman found out he didn't like how that had Jack's story going along. So we changed it where Jack got possessed by a wizard, the wizard who ruled these lands, and who used to be a follower of the memory god, who I can't remember the name of. And when he got possessed by the wizard, he lost control of his body and lost all of his thoughts, and that's what the next events follow. And right when he was about to go down, he gains back control over his actions. What?
Like, in the corner of my eye, there's a hair that's bugging the shit out of me. If anyone's been watching my POV for the last, 30 seconds, they'll see me fucking with it.
They want to see something that ugly.
Anyway, I'm gonna ignore that. So, there's a whole bunch of stuff with this, and Jack, grabs the wand and starts to fly, and the Italian accent completely drops, and he creates, a Colosseum-sized arena with, 100-foot walls, and at the top of the walls there are bleachers with every single character that has appeared in this one shot, whether they were interacted with or not. And I said Jack's body is pulsing with purple lightning, and it's also arcing out of his body. And I made Jack have 45 health, which was a complete mistake. And
we could have beat him if we were trying.
If it would have stayed at 45, you all would have died because I was doing amazing.
I didn't attack him for 5 of my 7 turns. I didn't attack him.
Yeah. We homebrewed the fact that cantrips are bonus actions. And I had a cantrip called Firebolt, which I'm going to let you guys look that up. Put in some work while you're watching YouTube. I know. How evil of me.
Worst spell ever.
But what was that?
Worst spell ever.
Yes, it is a cantrip, and it does 3d6 fire damage.
1d10.
It is ridiculously powerful. Huh?
It's 1d10.
Right, 1d10 fire damage, and it is ridiculously powerful against first level players.
Who would have guessed?
So they managed to get Jack down to 31 HP, and I was like, okay.
Mind you, I was too busy trying to give Jack depression to hit him with actual attacks.
Yes. Jack managed to knock Pixel in one hit. Pixel was down in one singular hit, and I was like, okay, I'm nice. Jack is now at 21 HP, and
Brett is not nice.
Shade was taking forever, and I said I didn't realize how serious people were when they said fighters take forever, because his turn was like 10 minutes long. It was ridiculous.
I was trying to cheese it. And like, I would argue this. I wanted to say that since everyone was there and a lot of them were tavern goers, they would have beer, and I could use Mage Hand, which he gave me, to grab those bottles of beer and throw them at Jack. And this idiot decided that no, that doesn't make sense, and didn't let me do it. But it makes no sense. Why not? Considering they were all tavern goers and they were all drunk. If you're drunk, you have glasses of beer. And so, wham, wham, wham.
It grabbed them, not their stuff. It brought them there, not their freaking stuff.
So they were naked?
Oh my god, it brought their clothes too, but not whatever they were holding.
Then why did it bring the one guy's bottle of beer I did throw?
Well, was he wearing his bottle of beer?
No!
Exactly. Moving on.
Then how did he have it?
Excuse me?
How did he have the bottle of beer if he wasn't wearing it? You dug your grave, now lay in it.
Whatever. Where was I?
Saying I take forever.
Oh, I list some damage that people did, and then I was like, Pixel is really good at missing, because apparently he did a whole bunch of that. And
why was he so good at missing on your campaign and so bad at mine?
Yeah.
Dude, one shots
Apparently
BBGs.
Shade kicked Jack in the nuts, dealing 4 damage.
I remember that. That was right after my rat died.
Alright. And then you casted Fuck You professionally.
Yeah,
got a nat 20.
I gave Jack depression.
Middle finger.
Oh wait, one more thing. For some reason, this wasn't in his notes. This was a great moment from our one shot. We're in that room with the molten spider, and there's ash everywhere. And I, being who I am, say, hey, I want to throw the ash at Richard, Pixel's character, and I got a critical hit. So, I thought there was books in the room. I don't remember what he said. Pixel said something really stupid, so I said, hey, I want to throw a book at him. And I was told there was books, so I threw it at him. And then Breadman said, no, they're not books, they're ash. So I threw ash so hard it condensed into a book and hit Pixel in the face.
Yes. And then your rat died, and I cast Firebolt for the 3,000th time, and then you went down. And then
that went down because I wanted to.
Flipped me off, and flipped off Anubis, and got another natural 20.
Who did that?
Stupid. And then I end up reviving you with the last of my power because he managed to get me down to 1, and I was like, screw it, he's dead.
No, he went down.
And then you go back. Huh?
He went down. He didn't get down to 1 health. He went down.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I ended up giving you an extra life with the last of my power, and you were not as grateful as you fucking should have been. And
I killed Jack's non-alive mother.
You go back up to the bar and talk to Boren, and that is the end of the one shot. How long is the recording right now?
We're at like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere on there. Let me check real quick. I'm gonna pause this. We'll have 3 parts.
Anyway, guys, with that, I would like to say to follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Twitch. The Twitch link is the same as my YouTube URL. I think it's linked in my YouTube as well. But do not subscribe to Shadewing Gaming. He does not deserve it. And with that, I have been Breadman. You have been amazing for staying to the end of this video. Thank you so much for that. And thank you again so much for watching.
By the way,
see you in the next video.
By the way, if anyone watched my first video and I shouted out Mr. Breadman, no, I didn't.